Hello, Mrs. Petra. My name is Arifa Ramadhani and my study number is 140142162. In here, I will talk about dances analysis in a book and movie. The first is book analysis. I will analyze this book with the title is Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. The first tense is simple present tense. Simple present tense have pattern subject plus verb 1. The first sentence that I found is Dina, tell me that word. And the second is I tell you. Both sentences are included in simple present tense because both sentences use verb 1, tell. Another reason is because both sentences are happening when the dialogue is spoken. The next is simple past tense. Simple past tense have pattern subject plus verb 2. The first sentence that I found is she ran across the field, and the second is a white rabbit with pink eyes ran close by her. Both sentences are included in simple past tense because both sentences are used verb to run. Another reason is because the sentences are talking about the things that has happened. Next is past continuous tense. Past continuous tense have pattern subject plus be, was, were, and plus verb in. The first sentences that I found is she was considering in her own mind. The second is Alice was beginning to get very tired. Both sentences are included in past continuous tense because both sentences use word was and verb in, considering and beginning. Another reason is because the sentences expresses action at a particular moment that happening in the past. Next, present continuous tense. Present continuous tense have pattern subject plus to be plus verb in. The first sentence that I found is I'm talking. The second is they are waiting. Both sentences are included in present continuous tense because both sentences use to be, and are, and verb in talking and waiting. Another reason is because when the dialogue is spoken, the action is still going. Next is simple future tense. Simple future tense have pattern subject plus will or shall and verb 1. The first sentence that I found is I shall think nothing. The second is I shall fall. Both sentences are included in simple future tense because both sentences use word shall and verb 1, think and fall. Another reason is because when that sentence is spoken, the action hasn't happened yet. The next is present perfect tense. Present perfect tense have pattern subject plus have or has and verb 3. The first sentence that I found is how can I have done that? And the second is where can I have dropped them? But sentences are included in present perfect tense because both sentences use word have and verb 3, done and dropped. Another reason is because when the sentence is spoken, the action has happened and is still ongoing or maybe has been done. The next is present perfect continuous tense. Present perfect continuous tense have pattern subject plus have or has plus been plus verb in. The first sentences that I found is you have just been reading. The second is what have you been doing here? Both sentences are included in present perfect continuous tense because both sentences use word have and been and verb in, reading and doing. Another reason is because when the sentence is spoken, the action has happened and still continuing at the present time. Next is past perfect tense. Past perfect tense has pattern, subject plus head plus verb 3. The first sentence that I found is Alice had learned several things. Second is she had peeped into the pool. Both sentences are included in past perfect tense because both sentences use word had and verb 3, learn and peep. Another reason is because when the sentence is spoken, the action has happened and completed before some point in the past. The next is past perfect continuous tense. Past perfect continuous tense have pattern, subject, plus had, plus been, and plus verb ing. The first sentences that I found is he had been looking at Alice. The second is Alice had been looking over his shoulder. Both sentences are included in past perfect continuous tense because both sentences use word had been and verb ing, looking. Another reason is because when the sentence is spoken, the action started in the past continued up until another time in the past. The next is future continuous tense. Future continuous tense have pattern, subject, plus will or shall, plus be, plus verb ing. The first sentences that I found is Tina will be sending me on message next. The second is you will be telling me. Both sentences are included in future continuous tense because both sentences use word will be and verb ing, sending and telling. Another reason is because when that sentence is spoken, the action will be happening in the future and continue for an expected length of time. The next is future perfect continuous tense. Future perfect continuous tense have pattern, subject, plus will, plus have been, plus verb ing. But unfortunately, I can't find any sentences in the book that use future perfect continuous tense. There is no future perfect continuous tense in the text because there isn't any tense with pattern, subject, plus will, plus have been, plus verb ing. But I can give some sentences that are not included in the book. The first is, she will have been shopping for the whole day. Second is, I will have been starting my startup since 2025. The next is conditional sentence type 1. The sentence have pattern if plus simple present, simple future will. The first sentence that I found is if I marble, I will stay down here. The second is if I like being that person, I will come out. But sentences are included in conditional sentence type 1 because both sentences use the word if and simple present tense. The sentences also have the word will. Another reason is that sentences are a form of conditional sentence that our outcome or consequences are likely to occur in the future. The next is conditional sentence type 2. The sentence have pattern if plus simple past or were, could, would, might, plus pair infinitive. The first sentences that I found is if you were inside, you might not. The second is if something was not done about it in less than no time, she would have everybody executed all around. Both sentences are included in conditional sentence type 2 because both sentences use the word if and simple past tense. The sentences also have the word might and would. Another reason is that sentences are a form of conditional sentence that the outcome or consequences have only the hope of coming true even though the probability is very small. Next is conditional sentence type 3. The third conditional sentence is a conditional sentence when a conditional is not possible at all. I can't find any sentence in this book that use conditional sentence type 3. There is no conditional sentence type 3 in text because there isn't any tense with pattern if plus past perfect, could, should, would, might, plus have, past participle. But I can give some sentences that not included in the book. The first is, if you had remembered to invite me, I would have attended your party. The second is, we might have gone to South America if she had not been pregnant. The next is film analysis. The film that I analyze is Tinkerbell and the Great Fairy Rescue. First is simple present tense that have pattern subject plus verb 1. The sentences is, some people say that fairies are the stuff of fantasy. This sentence is included in simple present tense because the sentence uses verb 1, say. Another reason is that this sentence is happening when the dialogue is spoken. The second sentences from simple present tense are, they think the world is just what they can touch. The next is simple past tense. Simple past tense have pattern subject plus verb 2. The first sentence that I found is, we just got here. And the second sentence is, she went in there. Simple past these sentences is included in simple past tense because the sentence uses verb to, went. Another reason is that this sentence is talking about things that have happened. Tinkerbell had gone into the fairy's house that was made by humans. The next is past continuous tense. Past continuous tense have pattern subject plus previous verb plus verb in. The first sentences that I found is, I was just thinking. The sentences is included in the past continuous tense because the sentences use verb was and verb in, thinking. Another reason is because the sentence expresses action at particular moment that happening in the past. The second sentence is I was flying. The sentence include in the past continuous tense because the sentence use verb was and verb in, flying. Another reason is because the sentence expresses action at a particular moment that happening in the past. Lizzie was flying before her father came to her room.
Well, what are we waiting for?
The next is present continuous tense. Present continuous tense have pattern subject. We is MR plus verb in. The first sentence that I found is, what are we waiting for? The sentence include in present continuous tense because the sentence uses to be, are, and verb in waiting. Another reason is because when the dialogue is spoken, the action is still going. The next sentences is we're coming. The sentence is included in present continuous because the sentence used to be are and verb in coming. Another reason is because when the dialogue is spoken, the action is still going. The next is simple future tense. Simple future tense have pattern, subject, plus will or shall, plus verb 1. The first sentence that I found is, I will never forget you, Lizzie. The sentence is included in simple future tense because the sentence use word will and verb 1, forget. Another reason is that this sentence, when that sentence is spoken, the action hasn't happened yet. When Tinkerbell wants to go home, she says that she will never forget Lizzie. This hasn't happened yet. The second sentence is, okay, I'll go. The sentence is included in simple future tense because the sentence uses word will and verb 1, go. Another reason is that the sentence when that the sentence is spoken, the action hasn't happened yet. When Lizzie says this, she hadn't yet gone to meet her father. The next is present perfect tense. Present perfect tense have pattern, subject, plus have or has, plus verb 3. The first sentence that I found is, oh, what have I done? The sentence is included in present perfect tense because the sentence uses word have and verb 3, done. Another reason is because when that sentence is spoken, the action has happened and is still going or maybe has been done. Video wonders, what has she done, Tinkerbell? The second sentence is, we don't have to be scared. The sentence is included in present perfect tense because the sentence uses word have and verb 3, scared. Another reason is because when the sentence is spoken, the action has happened and is still ongoing or maybe has been done. When the little girl says that Tinkerbell don't have to be scared, Tinkerbell is still scared. The next is present perfect continuous tense. Present perfect continuous tense have pattern, subject, plus have or has, plus verb, plus been, plus verb in. The first sentence that I found is, I've been drawing Paris all my life. This sentence is included in present perfect continuous tense because the sentence uses word have been and verb in, drawing. Another reason is because when that sentence is spoken, the action has happened and still continuing at the present time. The little girl has been drawing Paris since she was 3 and still cold. Next is conditional sentence type 2. The sentence have pattern if plus simple past or were, could, would, might, plus verb infinitive. The sentence is, if things were here, how not quiet it would be right now. The sentence is included in conditional sentence type 2 because this sentence uses the word if and simple past tense. The sentence also has the word would. Another reason is that sentences are a form of conditional sentence that the outcome or consequences have only the hope of coming true even though the probability is very small. They are on a mission to save Tinker. It's impossible if linear here. And the last, I can find any sentences in this film that use past perfect tense, past perfect continuous tense, future continuous tense, future perfect continuous tense, conditional sentence type 1, and conditional sentence type 3. Everything in this film tells about something that happened to Tinkerbell, not telling about the past. And this film was ended, so there's no story about the futures. So that's it. Thank you.